There we go. A little bit of housekeeping, but the mic wasn't on. So let's start again. Thank you so much, Isabella. So, as I said, yesterday was really powerful. We are on day 2 of identity. It was such an awakening for each and every one of us. And my purpose in this journey is not just to activate each and every one of you. So, to know about this material is such a powerful activation. Okay. It is now the steps that we take to embody the material. You just don't gather more information. The more you can gather more information if you want and continue to gather more information, but then your results in your life don't change. So for me, I spent so many years doing that, right up until I started my journey doing a program in personal development. So because so many of us, each and every one of us, we have only started to really see ourselves clearly. So we asked some really big questions yesterday. We went through all the questions of who am I? What do I think of myself? Who do I believe myself to be? And the homework that we put out last night, the reason for it is to make you think. And when you really stop and you ask yourself, what story have I been living from? Is it a story that I have been telling myself? Is it a story that someone else has been telling me? Is it something that I think my life should be? Or, first and foremost, is it the life that I want to be living? And even as early as today, I had comments made about decisions that I was making. But I know the decisions I'm making is coming from me and what I want in my truth and what my goals are. And when someone else questions, that's okay. They're questioning from their awareness. So now, when we realize the story that we're living from isn't maybe serving us, and we begin to realize that our results are just a reflection of that story. It's just a reflection up until this point. So yesterday was all about awareness, because nothing changes until we become aware. And it's not becoming aware by judgment or criticism. It is just becoming aware that we can change that story. So today, we are moving from awareness into transformation. And this is the part that I love so much, because I just don't motivate you. I most definitely don't motivate you. And anyone in my energy, anyone that's in any one of my programs, they know without a doubt when you're in my energy that you are in for a transformation. It is not just motivation, because motivation is so short-lived. Motivation will get you going after an event and think, oh, this is great. A week, 2 weeks down the line, boom, back to the same thing, because you haven't completely embodied and transformed. So we're moving now into transformation today, and we move from the knowing into the being, because this is the part where the magic happens. This is the part that I bring out my wand and the magic really, really happens. This is the moment where your awareness becomes embodiment. This is where everything that you have learned starts to move into your body. And when it moves into your body, and I'm saying it's not just enough to gather the information, but when it moves into your body, your actions, okay? The actions that you take changes the vibration that you have. So you see, your awareness opens the door, but your embodiment walks through it. It's not just enough to get the door open, you have to take the action and walk through it. And that's what today's all about. So yesterday, really quick recap, we explored about the consciousness. We went into the subconscious mind. We understood how your thoughts, repeated often enough, they become your beliefs. And then we went into how your beliefs shape your self-image. But then a lot of us want a quick fix. They want it now. Just tell me what to do now. It's in the journey, it's in the practice, it's in the, it's in the journey. Okay? So today we're going to build upon that. Today we're going to build you. Because identity is not something that you find. Okay? It is something that you're building. And when I talk about that internal structure, I had to take myself to the bones and I had to start building that internal structure one step at a time, but finding joy in the everyday things. And we understand that we're not a past. You are not your past. You're not your old story. You're not your circumstances, because we all have our story. Believe you me, if you could tell me a story, I probably had 10 to go along with it. Every story I have had, and I've had that journey. So I have the realization that I am not my stories. I am not my past. I am not my circumstances. You're not your results. Most definitely not. You're the creator. So what you're doing here, you're co-creating your life. And your identity is your greatest creation. Up until this point, it has been created just through default. It is just formed. It is formed because we thought there was no other way. And that's exactly the way it should have been. So I want you now to set a clear intention right now. And if you're in any of my coaching programs, you know I get you to set intentions at the beginning of every week. So if you set an intention now, right now, just say quietly to yourself, today, I allow myself to transform. Today's the day. So you have to allow it. Now let's just reconnect to the energy of yesterday for a moment, okay? How did it feel to really look at yourself? And I told you it can be so emotional because you're shifting energies, okay? And emotion is just energy and motion. So if you're shifting all the energies and you're shifting your vibration and you're elevating in your awareness, when I started to look at myself, really, really look at myself, I was in bits. I was crying. I was shifting. I wasn't a nice sight at all. But how did it feel then to witness the thoughts and the stories that had been running beneath the surface? So many stories run beneath the surface without even realizing. I'd say some of you probably felt clarity. Some of you might have felt emotion. Some of you might have felt resistance, and that's okay. Resistance can come up quite a lot. But I'm sure all of it was absolutely perfect. Because there's no right, and this is the key point in this journey. There is no right and no wrong. Who's right? Who's wrong? What path is the right path? What book is the right book? Tell me what to do, what's right, what's wrong. You study you. We're all individuals, okay? All part of one, but we're all individuals in these physical bodies. And each one of our mindsets is set slightly different. And I remember at the start of my journey, and I was on a call with all the consultants, and Bob Proctor was talking to us all and coaching us through, and he was giving someone a bit of advice on what they needed to do. But from my awareness at the start of my journey, he's telling him to do that. I'm going to do that as well. Read this. I was reading that. Write that out 100 times. I was going to do that. But then again, I may not have needed to do that. I may not have needed to shift my awareness in that part or in that point or in that book. I may have known that at that stage. I may have been embodying that at that time. But from my awareness then, I thought I needed to do more. So when we look at where each and every one of our minds are set at the moment, and where that old identity, that just means observing that old identity. And once it is observed, it begins to lose its power. So if you can observe, your procrastination, if you can observe your people pleasing, if you can observe, whatever it may be that you're observing, in the observation, it loses its power straight away. So this is why we look at ourselves, really, really, really look at ourselves. You can't change what you don't see. But once you do see it, you can't unsee it. And every time it happens, you go, get out of here. That's not who I am anymore. Shift. That's not where I'm going. And that's why today is everything begins to shift. Yesterday we talked about our identity. We talked about self-image. And that invisible blueprint that blueprint that's going on that determines how far you're going to go. Because you will never outperform that self-image. Never. But you can always change it. It's right down to what you'll allow yourself to have. And that's going right into an unconscious level. It's like an unconscious block that you don't even know that you have. And we self-sabotage over and over and over and over again because we keep trying to change the external. And we don't look within. And I was one that blamed everybody, everything, every circumstance, every story. It was always outside of me. Could not have been me. But we remove the blame. And you will hear me saying that quite a lot. We do not blame. We just observe. We look and we observe and we change. So I told you that your results can never exceed your self-image. So today we're going to expand that image. We're going to redesign it. And we're going to give it new instructions. Because whenever you build that new image, you're building your new life around you. So I want you, even in your notes, okay? We all take notes whether you're watching this, whether you're watching the replay, or whether you're watching the recording. And your new notes for this event, you can write, I have the ability to build the identity of whoever I desire to be. Whoever you desire to be. You're not stuck. If it is humanly possible for one person, it most definitely is humanly possible for you. So I do recommend that you take inspiration. Who inspires you? Who in your field inspires you? It's not about imitation. But this is where we really look. We're not going to just rehearse the same thing over and over again. We're going to rehearse the new version of you. Because up until this point, we have been rehearsing the same story. We've been doing the same thing. We've been showing up the same way. Year after year, day after day, hour after hour. And we're living the same year, maybe 40, 50, 60 years. Enough of that. You're living the new year. You're living the new day. So this is where you decide. This is where you decide, who do I want to be from this day forward? What story am I choosing now? And stretch your imagination. Your imagination is one of your higher faculties. And you have been gifted with this beautiful imagination. Stretch the imagination. Ask yourself, what is it that I want? How is it that I want to be living my life? How can I make that my life now? It's not up to you to know the how. Because your identity is the choice. Every belief that you hold is a decision that you once made. So we question those beliefs. We question those beliefs. Is that belief serving me? Is that belief at goal achieved going to be a belief that I have now? No. So we can make a new one right now. So today we're going to journey through what it actually looks like. Okay? We're going to go beyond the theory into embodiment. You'll hear me talking quite a lot about embodiment. We're going to talk about energy, we're going to talk about polarity, and we're also going to really go delving deep into the subconscious mind today as well. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring discipline, decision, and consistency. So the discipline, decision, and consistency, that's very masculine, but also we're going to bring feminine flow into it as well. And this is where we're going to blend the structure with surrender. Because that's how transformation becomes permanent. Not before that, okay? Not before any of that. It's not just waiting magically for something to show up. We have to align with that vibration of what it is that we desire. And it's not hard. It is not hard. It is doing something simple every single day. We're living our life anyway, and we're having habits and beliefs and behaviors anyway. But we ask ourselves, is the habits, beliefs, and behaviors that we have serving us? Or are they holding us where we're stuck? So now, before we even go any further, I want you to imagine that you're standing in front of a mirror, okay? You're standing in front of a mirror in 12 months' time. This is 12 months' time. But this isn't just an ordinary mirror. This mirror shows you who you've been. Okay? It shows you not who you have been, but who you're becoming. You're standing there. The version of you, the man or woman who already lives the life that you desire. How do they stand? How do they speak? How do they express themselves? Most importantly, what do they believe about themselves? Just even feel the calm confidence in their energy. Feel the peace in their eyes. Feel the certainty in the presence, because they're not chasing anymore. They are not chasing anymore. And now, step into that version of you, even just for the rest of this call. Literally imagine stepping forward and stepping into that reflection. Because this is your new identity. All we have to do every single day is keep stepping into that identity. Because as you open your eyes, at the moment that you open your eyes, I want you to know that you've just shifted timelines. You've just given your subconscious a new instruction. You've just given your subconscious a new image to live from. Because we never really go there. There, your goal, your desire, your lifestyle, what it is that you're dreaming and desiring, it's there on a frequency. That's how fast identity can change. That is how fast it can change. So today is about embodiment. Today is about becoming. Today is where we turn awareness into power. So we're turning your awareness into power. So let's go deeper. Yesterday we looked at awareness. Today we're building that foundation of your identity. You're aware of where you're at now, in this moment, on this planet, with the results that you have. We have stripped away all that does not serve us. Your identity is not an accident, okay? Most definitely not an accident. It's an act of creation. Every thought that you repeat, every emotion that you allow, every decision that you make, what they're doing is they're building the form of your identity. They're the architecture of who you are. So the conscious mind that we spoke about is the builder. The subconscious mind is the builder's assistant. Whatever the conscious mind decides and repeats, the subconscious mind must accept as truth. So think of all the chitter chatter. Think of all the static that is going on, all the thoughts that's flowing to and through you, all the stories that you're telling yourself, all the worst case scenarios that is going on in that conscious mind is just coming to and through and all the time. And what you're accepting is true, because one thought is going to lead into the next thought, okay? And then that thought's going to lead into the next thought, and it creates momentum. So if we are in really weak thinking, if you're really weak thinking, negative, wrong, whatever you want to call it, but I like using the word weak thinking, that doesn't serve you. And that weak thought is leading into the next weak thought, that's leading into the next weak one, that's leading into the next one. It's creating momentum, and then all of a sudden you're telling yourself this horror story. But if we can stop it at the first thought and say, right, that's not serving me. That is not leading me to where I want to be. That is not thought with an alignment of where my goal is at or what I want to achieve. And then we flip it and think about how can we? And think about really strong thoughts. How can we? Right, let's go. Who am I? What am I doing? Who do I believe myself to be? And taking actions from that place. Your subconscious mind must accept that as truth as well. So one thought, either going either way, it's creating the momentum. It is literally creating the momentum going upwards or downwards. So whenever you say, I'm confident, I'm really confident. Or whenever you say, I can't afford that. Or this always happens to me. See the difference? I'm confident, I'm a leader, I'm expressive. See the energy that comes with that. But whenever you're saying the opposite of, I can't afford that. Okay, I'll make sure that I'll make sure I'll try. All those words are really low energy words. So whatever you're feeding your subconscious mind is going to say, okay, I'll make sure that's true. So if you walk in somewhere and you want to purchase, say, a beautiful outfit and it's out of your price range, I can't afford that. Instead of saying I can't, I'm not going to get that yet. Just it hasn't come into the physical form yet. The finances isn't in the physical form to purchase that, but I love it and I'm just not going to get it yet. I've created the space. I've made the decision. I've opened the space for the finances to come in. Completely different energies. When you're saying, right, I'm lacking so much confidence. I am so shy. I could never do that. I have no confidence in myself at all. Or if you can say that, okay, I express myself effectively. I am really confident in myself. Whatever you're saying, your subconscious mind is going to make it sure. So when you begin to declare that I am so capable, I am becoming more abundant every single day in every way, the subconscious mind says, all right, come on, let's rearrange this reality around that. This is why repetition, it really matters. It really matters the conversations that's going on inside. So even sometimes when I'm out driving or if I'm out walking, I do it sometimes without any headphones and just silence and listen to what's going on. Allowing myself to repeat to myself every day and every way it gets better and better. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am achieving, and I just repeat it to myself over and over because I'm in control of the chitter chatter that's going on. Not anything else anymore. So you're teaching your mind what to believe. That's through consistency. That's through repetition. So I am the teacher. I am guiding my mind to what I want to believe. So decision, first of all, it is such an amazing place. Okay? It's the birthplace of identity. And the moment that you decide whatever it is that you want to achieve, whether it's finances, whether it's health, whether it's joy, whether it's happiness, it does not matter. But the moment that you decide, what you're doing is you're opening up the space for it to come in. You're allowing it to come in. You're shifting timelines straight away. So whenever I decided that I was no longer available for just normal, if you want to use that word, or just the ordinary, my world reorganized itself completely around that decision. I want an extraordinary life. Not because life suddenly got easier. Most definitely not. The moment I made the decision, all hell probably broke loose and the energy kept floating. But I knew I stood strong in that in between time, in the messy middle. You make the decision as a wee bit of a messy middle where the energy's all shifting and things are moving, but it's the end. The end is so worth it. But life doesn't just get easier. Your mindset gets so much stronger. And why that happens is because you have become someone new inside. You're building and you're working on your mindset. And your mindset is so strong that your emotions don't take over. So the gym, If anyone here goes to the gym, the reps don't get easier, you get stronger. So I'm not going to say to you that life becomes all roses and butterflies and airy fairy and sitting in the corner meditating all day, because it doesn't. Life still happens. Adversity still happens. Obstacles still show up. And probably some of the obstacles that I'm facing now are probably 10 times more than what I ever thought I'd be able to achieve. But the great thing about it is my mindset's so strong that I know when there's an adversity show up or an obstacle, that's there for me to grow over. Okay? That's for me to elevate. That's for working out for me. And that's coming from my awareness now. Not that everything is happening to me, but as everything is happening for me. So you don't wait for proof to decide. You just decide. You're becoming someone new. You have to figure out who that is that you're becoming. And as I said yesterday, the version of who I am now, it's not who I was last month, last year even. And the version of me next year is not who's going to be sitting here now. Because I'm always going to be elevating. I'm always going to be shifting my awareness. And I'm always going to be developing my mindset. So it's not the fact that you just get there. And this is the most beautiful thing about the journey. Yes, you set your goals. Those goals that we talked about, most definitely set your goal that is slightly outside of your perimeter that you know that you can achieve. Why? Because that means that you can stretch and you can grow into that new person. And you have to grow to that person to achieve that goal. My goal at the very start, and I share this all the time, was just happiness. I just wanted to have happiness. I didn't think it was possible to have that heavy, dark feeling removed from inside of me. And when I set the goal, I remember writing it really small. And I achieved it so quickly when I started to know who I was. And then my next goal, I achieved it in seconds. I've set out, my second goal was to meet Bob Proctor in person. And I met him at one of his last events in LA. Then the next one, within a few weeks, I was in Vienna at his very last event. And it was magical. It was so beautiful, but that was the next goal, then the next goal. And from a logic point of view, that wouldn't have been possible because in a few weeks previous, I thought I had lost everything. I had closed the business, I had went bankrupt, I was just in the depths of despair. But I built myself up. I bended slightly and I built myself up. So the key point of this is the moment that I decided that I wanted to become a coach. I had no idea how that was going to be possible. Absolutely no idea. But I had to become someone new inside. I had to become a product of the product. I had to really develop myself, study myself, and I continue to do it every single day because this material completely transformed my life. This material saved my life, changed my life, and also now the impact I'm making to all my clients worldwide. That is shifting every single person. So this is my passion. So we don't wait for proof to decide. We just decide. And then the proof arrives. So when I made the decision, and I remember writing it down as tiny as I could, and that goal card, I am so happy and grateful now that I am a Proctor Gallagher consultant. I remember that so many years ago, and I wrote it down. I am earning X amount, and it was tiny. And I put my hand around it and I thought, how am I ever going to achieve this? How am I ever going to do this? This is not possible for me. Oh, everyone else in this room, oh my goodness, they're all so much better than me. They can all express themselves. They can all stand on stages. I couldn't even speak to anyone. And it happened so quickly. I had set the date for the February, and the September before, everything fell into place. And I had my goal achieved. And then I continued to elevate and continue to elevate. And this is where we don't wait. We don't wait. Elite minds don't wait for evidence. We create it. So this is where I want you to create that evidence. Don't wait for something to show up. Don't wait for the bank balance to be different. I made a decision that I was going to invest £50,000 in myself, and I didn't even have £50 in the bank, let alone 50,000. So the moment that I decided that, I opened the space for it. And I'm not saying this to impress anybody. I'm saying this to impress it upon you that no matter what it is that you want, never make a decision based on your present results. Ever. Because if you're making decisions based on your present results, you're just going to get the same results. Get outside the box. Kick the box out of the way. There is no box. Shift it. Jump out of it. Because resistance is always going to come up. Okay? Because whenever you start building a new identity, every single one of you, the moment that you start building a new identity, the old one fights for survival all the time. And that's okay. And before the breakthrough, there's always that bit of contrast that's going to show up. Not to test you. A lot of people say, oh, the universe is testing you. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I just believe in universal laws that, yes, there is contrast going to show up. Yes, there's going to be resistance showing up. And that's for you to break through. That's for you to keep going. That is the caterpillar leaving the cocoon into the butterfly. That is a breakthrough. So the old will fight for survival. And many of the times I felt like just pulling the claws off. Literally, let's go. But that's the ego's job. It's to protect what is familiar. Your whole life has been so familiar up until this point. You will get evidence of what you're believing inside. You will get so much evidence that's showing you, oh, this is the right way, that's the right way. Why? Because your ego wants to keep you familiar. It whispers, slow down. There's no rush. We'll maybe do that later. What if it doesn't work out? But the voice of your soul says all the time, what if it does? How great is it? And something fantastic that I heard a few weeks ago is just imagine that you're just 5 failures away from success. How quick would you want to feel to get there? If you had evidence and the proof in front of you that you're only 5 failures away from success, I'd want to fail every day. So remember that voice, that intuition that is guiding you. What if it does work out? Yes, because that's where the courage lives. And it does take courage. This journey, it does take courage. I won't lie about that. It takes courage to build you into who you want to be. In that sacred space between fear and faith. So we look at even we look at the law of polarity. When I was talking about universal laws, like the law of polarity would tell you that every single desire that you hold, its opposite must appear first. And it tends to all the time. We look at the law of polarity, we can go into the law of opposites. So when we are talking about a vibrational state, and this is probably going a little bit deep, but when we're talking about a vibrational state, right? What it is that you desire, the opposite is going to be there. So this is where we work on our will, we work on our focus, we work on what it is that we are directing ourselves to. Because when fear shows up, it's not a sign that you're feeling. Most definitely not. It's a sign that it is actually proof that your desire exists. So if you're in a lack situation at the moment, rest well because you know the opposite must show up. You can't know light without darkness. You can't know expansion without contracting. So when the opposite arises, whatever it is that you are going after in life, whether it is in finances, whether it is business, whether it's relationships, health, happiness, you have to understand that when the opposite arises, you know it's confirmation that you're on the right path. And in times, I would have sat and I would have thought, well, for everything that I have happened or I have done and has happened in my life and the choices that I have made, there must be some amount of greatness that has to show up as well. But up until this point, none of us was aware of that. So we can make today the new decision. And this is where I want you to remember, like you are the cause. You're the cause. You're not the effect. Everyone that I come in touch with, they think that they're living in the effect that something else is the cause outside of them. You're not you're not reacting to life. Life is reacting to you. So if we look at the universal law of cause and effect, so if you imagine here, this physical with the intellect and the spiritual being hosted in this physical body is vibrating at a frequency, what is that? And we talk about vibrations, we talk about frequencies, and some people go, oh, yeah, that's all la. We believe in Wi-Fi. We believe in a little physical plastic box that is radiating Wi-Fi to your telephones and our laptops and our computers. We don't think that's all gobbledygook. It's exactly the same. If you imagine yourself as that little plastic box and you're vibrating, you're sending out a signal from your body. If you want to call it Wi-Fi, if you want to call it vibration, if you want to call it frequency. Because this is the most important part. What it is and who it is that you believe yourself to be. When you change your identity, you're changing the cause. And the cause is here. Okay? So the identity that you are putting out now is giving you results. We question, we observe, and we change if you want to. And then that signal that's going out is going to be totally different. Really different. So the more that we look into the more we look into the universal laws, the energy is always moving. It's always moving into physical form. Every single thought, every thought that you have is a seed. And that seed is going to become something. So your new identity, it isn't a fantasy. It's forming. So whenever you imagine yourself succeeding, have you imagined yourself succeeding? When you set that goal of actually achieving that goal. When you feel gratitude in advance, I have got everyone, and I know we all practice gratitude, because gratitude sets me up to win the day. And we practice gratitude in advance for what we are about to receive, not for what we have already received. Yes, we're so grateful and we are so humble and happy and grateful for everything that we have achieved. But also we are expressing gratitude in advance. And whenever you act from that energy, that you already have it, what you're doing, you're literally pulling that invisible into visibility. That's creation. That is creation, because you are here to create your life. And this is where discipline comes in. I hated the word discipline. Now, I literally mean I hated the word discipline. Discipline took me back to school, sitting in the PE changing rooms, and I was going, oh, no, hated it. So discipline is now my, I wouldn't say best friend, but I actually do enjoy being disciplined. I give myself a command and I follow through. Whereas I would have promised myself, but then I would have come up with excuses. I would have set myself tasks, I would have given myself commands, and then I didn't believe myself. So what was that telling my subconscious mind? She never keeps a word. She never keeps a word. She says one thing and does another. So I had to work on that. And this is where discipline, the more we lean into discipline and doing it every single day, this is how consistency shows up. These aren't punishments at all. So we change your thought pattern towards them words. And the words, we do have different feelings towards certain words. So they're evidence. Every small act of you following through with what you tell yourself, it's telling your mind, I am reliable. I am committed. I keep my word. Instead of giving yourself a command and saying, I'll do that next week. Oh, I was meant to go to the gym this morning. No, I'll do that tomorrow. So again, you're keeping the pattern going. That's how you're building trust with yourself when you follow through with it. That's how your identity solidifies. It's not about perfection. So many people that I talk to wait until the perfect moment. So many people wait until they want perfection. Oh, I couldn't speak on camera. I couldn't go out on stage. Oh, no, no, no. I have to express I have to have the perfect. No, 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 no. It's not about perfection. The amount of times that I share with people, go back and watch the very start of my journey. And there were recordings that I did and that I would have tried to do them perfect. I would have went over them and recorded about 20 times. I would have sat and I would have deleted the video, and then I would have done it again, and I would have pronounced a word wrong, and then I would have done it again. And even in my book clubs at the beginning, oh my goodness, everything had to be perfect. That's just a form of procrastination. To try and be perfect is procrastination. Procrastination comes from fear. It comes from worry, it comes from doubt, it comes from not knowing. So if you have faith that whatever you are meant to say is going to come to and through you, and obviously I've studied this material like a scientist, and I continue to study every single day. And I know now, I trust my intuition. I trust my gut. Yes, there's certain things I set up to, what I'm coaching on and what I'm teaching on. But I have so much trust and faith that I know what's meant to come to and through me will. So don't try and be perfect. Most definitely not. It's about repetition. It's about saying to yourself, until yesterday, that was old me. That was old me. I'm choosing again now today. That's not who I am anymore. So the more that again, so many of us would be in the very masculine of doing, 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 right? Tell me what book I need to read. Give me a strategy. What morning process do you do? That's constant. I get asked so many times, what is it that I do? How do you do that? How did you achieve that? How? But very little people ask me, what were you thinking to achieve that? So what were you thinking to achieve that? Structure without flow becomes really rigid. Flow without structure becomes chaos. So we have to bring the both together into a balance. So when your masculine energy provides direction, your feminine energy provides the magnetic, okay, the magnetism. So we know where we're directing it towards. We've got our goal. We have had the self-reflection of who we believe ourselves to be. We have know our goal, what our goal is, and we have that direction done. Now the goal is here, and the magnetism, we're drawing it together. So it's all in balance together. The masculine is, I'm not talking about male and female, I'm talking about energetics. I'm talking about the being and the doing. The two, okay? The being and the doing. And this is all part of your identity. So it's about balance with that power and grace. So today I want you to let your actions be disciplined. Let your actions be disciplined in every single thing that you do. But let your heart remain as open to receive as you possibly can. Let your plans be so clear. What is your plans? But then let your spirit be flexible. I have so clear of where I'm going. I've got my year, I've got my 6 months, I've got my 3 months, all my plans, all the goals. And that's all in the transformation. So I haven't aligned with that version of me that has set that goal in 12 months' time. Otherwise, I would have achieved it. Now, as I shared yesterday, I'm in the middle of a manifestation that I thought would take me to probably 2026, but it came so quickly because I have aligned with it, scaring the living daylights out of me, but that's okay. That's okay. So it's because I'm aligned with it. So I want you now to take a breath today And I want you to really set them that intention, because I know for a fact that whatever it is that you desire is there on a vibration for you. And I know that I can help anyone get to where they want to be. Your awareness without the embodiment, it fades, okay? Your awareness, knowing it without actually immersing in it, it's going to fade and it's going to go into motivation. You need repetition. My life changed completely the moment I stepped into mentorship. The environment, oh my goodness, the environment shifted me so much. But I had to do the work. I can't do the work for you. It's the steps that you have to do yourself. It's the work that you have to do yourself. But it's coming from having someone that is at their awareness, that has been there, that has walked the walk, that has taken the 7 years to get to where and break it down into that short space of time. So this is where the environment that you're in at the moment, the sum of the 4 or 5 people that you surround yourself with, you will become the next. The conversations that you have shapes and forms the identity that you hold. So does the environment that you're surrounding yourself with now, does it meet your new standard? And when we shift that until it becomes that standard, that's your new standard. So if any of this resonates with any of you, I invite you to continue your journey. Continue your journey every single day. Show up every single day. Because this is your life. This is your life. It is not mine. I'm living my life. This is my purpose. This is my joy. This is what I am here to do, to help each and every one of you reach yours. So there's so many spaces where your awareness becomes mastery. What is it for you? And who is it that you're becoming? So don't wait for permission. Do not wait for permission in anything in life. I always say, ask for forgiveness instead of permission. Don't wait for the perfect time. The perfect time is the moment that you decide. Decide to live fully. Decide to become who you were born to be. Decide to make the most of this life. So when the final day comes, you can look back and say, I became everything that I was capable of becoming. I share, it's only 2 people I answer to. That 8-year-old version of me and that 88-year-old version of me. So think about it. I answer to no one else. Become everything that you're capable of becoming. That's legacy, that's fulfillment, that's freedom. So my invitation is simple. Choose you. Choose your identity and choose your next level. And remember, you don't need to see the whole path. You only need to take that first step. And it's taking that first step. And there's so many times I take that first step. And every time I set a new goal, and I have no idea where my foot has been placed. I have no idea. And many of the time that foot is shaking and vibrating and going, oh my goodness, here we go again. But that's the joy. That is the joy and that is the happiness. Let's make the rest of your life the most extraordinary chapter yet. Because you are the identity of your highest self now. You just have to bring that version to the surface. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today. I have opened up spaces tomorrow. If anyone would like to join me for any questions and answers, it will be a private Zoom. I will add the link in. It won't be this link. I will add the link in and it'll be all emailed out with your emails tonight with the replay. So thank you for sharing your energy with me. And I have been so blessed and delighted. Take care and have the beautiful rest of your day.